Hi, and welcome back to Thone's James Nibbles number 49. Faith without works is dead. This is part 7 of 9. And this is the first of this one and the next one. Number 7 and number 8 are about some of the ancient commentators and what they said about these things. So this is Ancient Comments number 1. And there'll be number 2 tomorrow. So we again are still dealing with James chapter 2 verses 14 through 26. And we're going to be listening to an explanation by Bede. B-E-D-E. He's one of the ancient leaders of the faithful from way back, just past Bible times, really, and how he understood some of these things. Now, why is all this in the Bible? It's an explanation by an ancient Bible scholar, in this case. And the communications is studying other scholars' viewpoints gives us a better understanding. And understanding gives us insight, and insight gives us the ability to teach others. The application to me. Bede says, although the Apostle Paul preached that we are justified by faith without works, those who understand by this that it does not matter whether they have evil lives or do wicked and terrible things as long as they believe in Christ, because salvation is through faith, have made a great mistake. People who believe that have made a great mistake. James here expounds how Paul's words ought to be understood. This is why he uses the example of Abraham, who Paul also used, and as the example of faith, to show that the patriarch also performed good works in the light of his faith. In the light of his faith. It is therefore wrong to interpret Paul in such a way as to suggest that it did not matter whether Abraham put his faith into practice or not. What Paul meant was that no one obtains the gift of justification on the basis of merit derived from works performed beforehand, because the gift of justification comes only from faith. And this comes from his concerning the Epistle of St. James. So he's telling us that it's the matter of the chronology, that Abraham was saved because he had faith. However, he would have been a rather poor faithful person if he did not do the works after he was saved and after he was given commandments of God, and after he led the people, and he had the children, and he taught them all those things that he did when they were in the plan of God were good works. Of course, the best example we have is that after he was saved for a long while, and after he had the promise of the inheritance coming to all his heirs, he then was willing to sacrifice his son, the son that made those heirs, who was going to make those heirs in the future, because God told him to. He was doing a good work. He didn't know why he was doing a good work, but he had such faith that he was willing to do this act. And that's what Beatty's talking about here. It's what you do afterwards that's important. You know, you may be doing good works before salvation, but you're doing them probably for the wrong reason. So we have to be a little careful with that too. But he clearly calls out that the time the good works are important is giving back to God after our salvation. God leads us with understanding justification. Justification is what came from the faith. But the good works went so much further than that. My response, Lord, please help us piece together a clear understanding of this important concept. This is one of those concepts which is highly, highly debated between some theologians on sort of one side of the fence and some on the other side of the fence. So we need to just get this clearly in our head so that we can't be told wrong things. We understand that it is, that both good works is important and faith is important, but the good works should be coming from the faith. So in that sense, we're back into safe ground again because we already are saved, and then the good works will come much more naturally to us and not hypocritically and not for our own glory, but only for the glory of God. We'll talk to you next time.